let's get started on today's topic, which is really how to start homesteading. And a bonus for everyone else who's going to be on my YouTube channel or gets a hold of this video, you guys get to have access to everything as well. So yay, it actually works out for maybe more people who actually, who are maybe needing to hear it right at this moment. So I'm glad to be able to at least be able to do this and bring it to you and then have it play at the event. And then for all my other people who end up finding the video and stuff like that. So I have a lot of stuff that I brought. So I got my warm coffee here, semi-warm, you know how it goes, with a homemade marshmallow that I put stinging nettles and calendula in it because I absolutely love herbs. And we're going to talk about that. But it's lovely to have a nice homemade marshmallow with our maple syrup that we just finished up maple syrup season here in Northern Michigan. So we're going to be talking about how to start homesteading. And it's like that, it's that jumping off point. Where do you even start with homesteading? First, let's talk about what is a homesteader. I think a homesteader is anybody who is a producer rather than just a consumer. And you can just produce your own bread at home. Say you just make loaves of bread and never buy that from the store. To me, that's a homesteader. You are on a track to take back that control from, those companies that really just care about all that bottom line and they add all those nasty ingredients, and then you can do that at home. So everything that you do at home, being a producer instead of just a consumer, to me, that's a homesteader. And the husband and I, we have 3 wonderful kids. He works a full-time job and we raise 80% of our own food, which is all of our meat. And we do everything absolutely organic. It has to be, the name is Food Prude for a reason. We're very prudish about our food. And it's, it started a long time ago. And so he works, we do all of our own meat. We raise chickens and pigs and just absolutely love that bacon. And we raise all of our own vegetables and a lot of our fruit too. We keep, we've been at this particular homestead for 7 years. So we've been able to implement some orchards and getting those trees in, some apricots and pawpaws and blueberries and strawberries. And there's wild raspberries and stuff like that around here. So lots of stuff that's coming in on the homestead and coming to fruition. So that's kind of where we're at, which seems, we do a lot. We do, I don't know what we don't do, to be honest. I buy my noodles, but I could make it from flour. Can't raise wheat berries or wheat, so I buy the wheat berries. But for the most part, we are hardcore doing everything on our homestead while he works. We have 3 amazing kids, like I said, and they help out a lot, like it or not. But a side note about the kids, it's really cool raising the kids up in this environment because I think it'll be easier for them for these types of decisions and lifestyle of eating healthier and better and stuff like that. It'll be so much easier for them because they're just growing up in it. So like if you're like me, I didn't grow up like it, neither did my husband. And so it's a little harder to kind of like retrain your brain. Like that Big Mac actually is nasty and it doesn't taste good. It doesn't taste good anymore to us, but all those memories of times of like getting those fries and how it, it tasted good at the time, right? So you got to kind of retrain your brain. And I think it's going to be a lot easier for your kids. So if you have kids, kind of keep that in the back of your mind that it's making it easier for them, even though it's harder for you. But isn't that what parenting is all about? So, so that's kind of a little bit about us. I'll put a link on the resource page if you would like to read it. I had a friend who had to write an article about I think like a hometown hero homesteader or something like that. I forget. And it talks a lot about how, what she sees from the outside. And it was a really good article if you'd like to read it. Just how we do a lot of permaculture and then organic. We raise everything here on the homestead. So that's a little bit about us. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything because all that good stuff. So yeah, we do the maple syrup season just kind of finished up, and that worked out really good. That stuff is really fun for the kids to see and taste and to drink the sap and all that interesting stuff. And of course the syrup, it makes great coffee. So yeah, that's a little bit about us and our homestead. We live up here in Northern Michigan. I teach a lot of in-person classes, and I have a lot of online courses as well. My favorite is doing the in-person because you can just see the light bulbs go off in people and the fear, like just leave them. And then they go and do it. And they are so proud of themselves. And then I'm so proud. It makes me happy. I started teaching classes in 2020. We were pretty private before that. And I just had a lot of friends who would be like, it's your time. Obviously 2020, right? That was crazy. It's your time to go ahead and just, you're not as nutty as you think you are. I think people are ready to hear from you guys. And so we started teaching classes back then. So I do a lot of gardening classes and herb classes. And this year I'm doing an introduction to beekeeping classes that I'll talk about in a minute here. But yeah, so that's a little bit about us. So let's get started on how to start homesteading. All right, let's talk about where do you start with homesteading now that I gave you an overview, kind of like what we do in a very chaotic way, but that's kind of how I talk sometimes. So here is like an analogy or something like that of where to start. So when you order something from like Amazon or IKEA or a big box store or whatever, say it's a big bookshelf or bookcase or a desk or something like that, you're all excited, right? You're like, I finally need this piece and it's going to fit perfect where I want it and I can't wait to get it. It finally arrives and you tear open that box and you empty everything out and you start to realize that there are 100 pieces. The direction booklet is about this thick and it's not really with always the most understanding directions that you can see. So at that point, while it's all out, it looks very overwhelming and you're like, why did I even purchase this thing? I should have just had someone else build it. I should have just picked it up at a store pre-built because like this is ridiculous. Like all these little nuts and bolts and whatever else that they throw in there, right? And then maybe you even start to look at the return policy before you even get started. So that is like homesteading. So you're all excited with the idea from scratch cooking, the gardening, the preserving, the harvesting, the canning, the dehydrating, the freeze drying, the fruit trees, the raising the pigs, raising the lamb. How about a milk cow? Wait, can I even grow a tomato? Wait, how do I even trim them? Sourdough sounds yummy, but what is this feeding and discard? Fencing in the animals? Oh yeah, okay. Butchering them? Oh my gosh, can I even do that myself? That is the overwhelming part when you start to realize that there could be 20 different things going on at one time that you have to try to learn the knowledge of and not make as many mistakes and try to make sure that everything is taken care of, right? It can be very overwhelming, just like looking at that direction booklet of that desk that you wanted to put together. So maybe you even start to look at the return policy about homesteading, just saying. But remember, it's how you start. That direction booklet has step number 1 written at step number 1 for a purpose, right? So you can't look at the whole entire project or your whole entire homesteading journey or look at me at my homesteading journey and not get very overwhelmed. You have to, it's a million things. You have to keep this in mind. It's a million different things and there's a million different steps, but you have to start at step number 1. No matter what that step number 1 looks like for you, it was certainly different for me than it's going to be for you. So sometimes you tighten that screw too much or you forget to trim your tomatoes. It's okay because you're moving forward and you are doing it. It's the just do it attitude that I teach in my class. And yes, I just did the bunny quotes, didn't I? I hear from it from many students how after attending the class that they stop with their analysis paralysis. I hear this over and over and they just go ahead and just do it. They're not waiting for the perfect time. They're not waiting for the perfect scenario or the amount of money or the weather to be perfect or anything like that, or even in their mind to be perfect. They're just going to go ahead and just dive in and just do it. Do something. Do that step number 1, no matter what that step number 1 is for you, okay? So that's what I want. I want to give you permission to go ahead and just do it. And you're going to be all right. You're going to make mistakes, but you're going to also have great successes. And you're also going to be teaching your kids or even your family members or your postman person who stops by that sees you out there working your tail off in the garden or whatever. They're all ways of learning when you make the mistakes and the great successes. So that's the mindset that I want you to have today is, you're going to hear from a lot of things. I'm going to cover a lot of different topics because I was asked to, and it's going to seem overwhelming, but just pick one thing, learn from it. I'm going to give away a lot of free resources today that I really hope that you go and do. It's very tailored to Michigan because I grew up in Michigan, but you can, if anybody else is listening to this from across the other parts of the countries, you can tailor this to any of your areas as well. So I give you permission to go ahead and just do it. Take some notes today, pick some cool things that you want to try and just get started. No matter if it's a baby step, if you're just wanting to make a loaf of bread at home, don't even do the sourdough, just make a loaf of bread at home. Plant a couple bean seeds. That's all you have to do. You don't have to get a beekeeper suit and start beekeeping right away. Build up the baby steps first, okay? So let's get on with our first topic. After now we have our mindset, let's get started.